There it is, 2000. A milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon.
Malkin dusts it off, right in front. Another chance, backhand score! It's Brian Rust with the goal. Rarefied air to Hall of Fame career, 1,200 points for Evgeny Malkin.
Second and 9. Pickett lines up a deep ball. Separation. Touchdown. George Pickens.
Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio. Right here in the Municipal Building. You know where we're at. Police stations across the way. They always are watching one of our co-hosts. We can't mention his name. No disclaimer. And I want to thank all of you for watching us on Comcast 21 and Verizon 32 in the Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, and Wexford. For all of you on Comcast 21, you know you're special, and you're the only ones that can watch Pittsburgh Sportsline in Bethel Park on Comcast 21. So we'll move forward. Just got some news on our Facebook. You know, I checked their statistics, their algorithms. We had a high of 7,050, and I looked tonight, it was 6,999. So I go, thank you, Facebook, for all the negativity. You sound like my co-host, Smoking Jim, but we appreciate all those likes. And knocking on the door at 7K again. So we'll get up to that battle. And I want to shout out to our Brazilian friend, Ryan Thomas. He liked our page, so he's actually 6,999.
Wow.
And he did that from Brazil, even though he can't speak Portuguese. Somehow he was on Facebook, and he liked us in English, as far as I know. But I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. We got Smoking Jim Frazier. We got Nick Callis sitting on the other side. We got Raging Mike Rohde. And we're going to do our show. We got our great promos. We're going to start those promos in 10 seconds right now. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria in the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oil's is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com. The Hillcrest Christian Academy yearbook team is looking to fundraise through advertising. They want to give students the ability to have full-color pages with everything they need to remember this chapter of their lives. If you're interested in supporting Hillcrest Christian Academy and capturing priceless moments and highlighting student achievement, please advertise with the yearbook team. Pricing is listed right here. Payments can be made directly to the Hillcrest Christian Academy School. For more information, send a message to their email. Alex Reed is in need of a kidney. 2 weeks after college graduation, Alex's kidneys failed. A gracious donor gave Alex 7 years of life, but now he needs another kidney. To learn more about becoming a donor for Alex, call 830-285-2140 or go to kidneysolutions.org. Zhang Taekwondo just opened a new location in the South Hills, along with its location in Wexford and its inclusion in the curriculum of Provident Charter School in Troy Hill. Zhang uses Taekwondo to teach its students confidence and self-discipline through physical fitness. Zhang is offering a 4-week special. You get a uniform and lessons for $30. If you mention the Talking Machine, Smokin' Jim, or VIP Nick, they'll give you a further discount. For more information, go to zhangtkd.com or call 724-934-9264. Whew. All right, we start with what's on your mind. So, Smokin' Jim, thanks for putting the ginger ale up. People love that ginger ale.
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
Coming at you.
you got to see Levine.
Oh,
Ooh, that's a high popper.
look who caught it.
I tell you what.
I was a center. How did I catch it?
That was a basket catch too, like Clemente. But
My
before,
hero.
Fiction and Fact with Smokin' Jim's Almanac. If we don't have it, I got a stone cold lead pipe lock for NFL Defensive Player of the Year, and you'll all agree.
One disclaimer. Everything that Smokin' Jim says is his own personal opinion, doesn't reflect Bethel Park
You'll agree.
or Pittsburgh Sportsline. So, in other words, right off the bat, I got to throw the disclaimer. I almost guarantee that not all of us will agree.
Mikey will, man. Mikey talk
Well, that
about
ain't all of us. He's only one, and he's under 18, so I question what you're talking about. Carry
All
on.
right. Hey, it's time to cut the head off the snake. Deontay Dropson, I've never in my life seen a guy walk on the football field, see a fumble, walk back, mill around, and get away with it. If I would have done that in college, my college coach would have benched me for at least a game. My high school coach never would have played me again. Al Levine, the talking machine. The Divas started long time ago under Coach Tomlin. Emmanuel Sanders wanted out because the Young Money crew broke up. Mike Fast
Yeah, but he
Money
couldn't
Wallace.
catch. Samuels couldn't catch a ball then, and now he made millions of dollars, had a good career.
That's true. Mike Fast Money Wallace was gone. Emmanuel Easy Money Sanders. Antonio Cash Money Brown. Martavius Bryant came here. 6'5", 215 pounds, blazing speed, 94-yard touchdown catch. His first year, 8 touchdowns. Second year, 84-yard touchdown catch. His third year, he was suspended because he tried to smoke a 100-yard blunt. Al Levine, the talking machine. Juju Smith-Schuster tried to TikTok his way on every logo in the National Football League. Only team that Juju knew was Team TikTok, Team Twitter, and Team Twitch. Last but not least, Antonio Brown. I said, and I was the only one, and you're a witness, Al Levine, the talking machine. I said in 2016, when he taped and uploaded Mike Tomlin's post-game speech at Kansas City, I said, get rid of him. Get rid of him. Everybody says, no, it wasn't
I
that
co-signed
bad.
that.
You
yeah.
co-signed with me. And what did the Steelers do? 2017, they made him
Gave
the
him
highest
money.
paid receiver in NFL history. Then Al Levine, the talking machine, it all started. Started throwing furniture out his 14th floor apartment window and everything else. The guy rarely goes under 120 miles an hour. Al Levine, NFL cancer is not curable. Get rid of Dropson right now. And that's what's on my mind.
Smoking.
Thank you, Johnny.
I got one question for you.
Thank Johnny.
For what?
We're clapping.
I got a question for you. You said your high school coach would have thrown you off the team.
Yeah, well, he
said
wouldn't
in
have threw me off
college-
the team. He would never have played me again.
Well, that's like throwing you off the team because Urkel would have got mad.
Let me just put it this way. Our best player on my team when we were ranked 5th in the nation, USA Today, by the way, but our tight end was recruited by every Ivy League school. He had a full ride to Yale. He was a 4.2 student. We wasn't allowed to get hurt. First game of the season, he got hurt, had to be helped off the field. Next time he got on the field was senior day to walk across the field with his parents.
Thank you for your
We
story.
weren't allowed to get hurt, brother. And he was the best player on the team.
To all of you that watch the show, you
Best
know,
white player
you
on
know
the team.
I'm a simple guy. I just want questions answered. So
He was the best white player on the team.
I was leading up to the question I was trying to get to. So his coach wouldn't have played him the rest of his career. And a white guy that was going to Yale came to Gateway for some unknown reason, except they paid parents to live there, even though it was a fake address.
Tutored me.
So now in college, he would have got suspended one game.
At least, yeah.
All right, well, I got to go. Who's the coach of the Steelers, and what did he do and say?
Well, all I can say is
No, he said, time will tell, or something like that.
yeah, we'll hear what he says
Yeah.
first.
Well, if you're a coach, why wouldn't you, instead of hugging them and saying, we don't do that, why wouldn't you just suspend them?
Well, I'm banned from the press conferences, but when
With
I
good
used to
reason.
go, this is the question I would have asked him.
Okay.
I said, after George Pickens pouted, you invited him over your house for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they
what
bragged
time
about
is
it.
Johnson coming for Christmas, or is he spending the night?
Well, in other words, your former friend Mike Tomlin.
I love him. We had some good times. Let the good times roll.
Well, folks, you all heard no answer. My answer would have been, you're not starting next week.
That's it.
And I may see you at halftime to talk to you about it. And if you don't have anything called remorse, MEMORSE,
That's how I
then
spell it.
you could look in the dictionary. And if you don't have any, you'll stay on the bench.
Good point.
And now we'll move on. I don't know if we go to Nick or we go to Mike.
I'm coming. Go to Mike, actually.
I was trying to help you out.
right, I'll
See
stay
how
on.
he wants to argue with everything I say guiding the show? He's proving my point to all the fans of Nick, even the VIP and then the Harry Callis. I'm not trying to cause trouble with him, but you see how he's operating with me. We're going to Mike Rohde right now. It's a Pittsburgh Sports Line first. He's not wearing a hat.
And yes, I was going to say that is due to my
I had to
mother-in-law.
one-up you, yeah.
My mother-in-law asking me numerous times not to wear a hat, and so out of respect and deep fondness and love, appreciation for her, I said, okay, one time.
I
will
never
not,
got
I
along
will
with
not
my
wear a hat.
mother-in-law.
I never knew you were married. I never knew you were married. This is a Pittsburgh Sports Line first. He admitted he was married.
Hey, listen, back in 1997, John was there. First time I got invited to my in-laws' house
Yes.
back when I first started dating my wife.
Okay.
You got to understand, in my 20s, I was 29 when I met Diane. In my entire 20s, I lived on ragu and pizza bagels.
Whoa.
Attaboy.
And a little bit of
What
mac
a
and
step
cheese.
up, yeah.
So I went over there and I got homemade pasta, homemade meatballs, homemade this, homemade that, and I said, I got to marry her.
You were in love.
I got it.
Your belly was
I have
full.
no choice. I have to marry this woman. So
Diane,
thank you,
I hope
Teresa,
you're not
for all
watching.
So listen, here's what I would like
That's
to
a
do.
great story, so carry on.
I would like to lament, if I could, on not only what is the most difficult job in pro football, not even what is the most difficult job in pro sports.
Okay.
I will venture to say, based on the numbers, the most difficult job possibly on earth.
Whoa.
How many are there more of? Great, awesome, healing neurosurgeons or people who can play quarterback effectively in the NFL?
Good point.
Neurosurgeons.
Way more neurosurgeons.
Thousands.
And the NFL has really got a bad product on the field right now. That
Mediocre.
game last night, not even mediocre,
Look at last night's game.
awful. If you lose
Except
a
for
quarterback in
Dobbs,
this
only
league,
4 interceptions.
yeah, if you lose your quarterback in this league, you're done. This league has become way too dependent on one position, on the quarterback. Way too overly dependent on it. And if somebody goes down, you're done. You're dead. There's not even enough guys to be starters, much less backups.
Yeah.
Bengals done. Browns done. Vikings done. Name anybody else who lost their quarterback. Have no chance.
Well, I got 2 for you that didn't lose a quarterback. Herbert, and who else was I going to say? Josh Allen. And
Well,
they're good quarterbacks. Do they compare with our legendary Hall of Fame quarterback, Kenny Pickett?
Okay, but still.
No, but I'm just throwing
I'll give-
2 outliers, so there's less
There's
quarterbacks.
outliers for sure.
Yeah.
But the fact is,
There's less good ones.
there's less good ones. There are way less good ones. There's maybe, 10, 12
Thanks for
people
letting me
who can
interrupt.
play. No
Yeah.
worries. That can play a competent quarterback in this league.
Yes.
And the problem is there's nothing out there to develop quarterbacks. College football does not develop NFL quarterbacks.
That's a myth.
They've tried, the World Football League. They've tried to this,
USFL.
they've tried to that, they've tried developmental things. It doesn't work because they bring these guys in and start them right away. And half of them get ruined because they put them in there too early. And guys like Pickett, who haven't even played a full season yet, people want to take pitchforks and torches
Hold
to
it, I'm
his
one of
house.
those guys. Do you know why? When you're young, sometimes there's natural athletes. And then they play that from their little kids, 7 years old, 15, 16, they're done. They reach their peak.
Yeah.
Guess what Kenny Pickett did? I haven't said it on air till now. At 5 years of college, he reached his peak. He hasn't been back to his peak since.
I
That's
still
my
think he'll be
outline.
fine, but we'll talk about
You
that
can
later.
disagree with me forever on the show. I just want to build some of the evidence. So
All I know is
he reached his peak.
in 1 week, he took one heck of a step forward, looking like a quarterback. But hey, let me finish the thought.
No, go ahead.
Because I hate bringing a problem without a solution. So what the NFL has to do, what they've tried to do, is call pass interference calls if you breathe on a guy the wrong way, or quarterback, late hits. And that just takes away from the integrity of the game. That's making it worse. It makes the NFL a joke. So I think what they have to do is make it easier so more people can play quarterbacks.
Ooh.
What you have to do, in my opinion,
How do you dumb it down?
You get away from 7 guys having to be on the line. Make it 5.
I like that.
Whoa.
You can put you
How
can
many
put two,
on a
you can
team?
put 2 guys in motion. 2 guys in motion.
I like that.
I'm thinking
Whoa.
outside the box here, because other than that, what do you got? You got a bunch of crap on the field right now. It is not a good product. It's awful.
And put a
Why don't
flag
you
on
go
it. Put a flag on
here,
it.
using your logic, why don't you go to 7-on-7 teams?
No, I'm not saying that. I don't think you have to go that radical. What I'm saying
wanna
is,
get
listen,
radical.
what I'm saying is that it's more feasible to make it easier to play quarterback than it is to get more quarterbacks.
That's
Pure and
good
simple.
sense,
Well, the
yeah.
problem with the quarterbacks in the NFL is real simple. Too many black quarterbacks. Clean it up.
Look, I don't, it's just, guys, it's too difficult. I would even say allow left tackles and right tackles to hook, not grab, to hook.
Yeah.
Allow anything to let the quarterback play quarterback, because we all know it's a split-second decision. One more half second a lot of these guys can get is going to make 3 or 4 more good quarterbacks, right? Just little nuanced things like that, in my opinion, will go a significantly long. Will hurt the integrity of the game much less than having a guy running towards a quarterback. I can't hit him low, I can't hit him high, what am I going to do? And then it's a 15-yard penalty, and it ruins the game. So something should be done. That's my opinion. What should be done, something to help make more quarterbacks, because you're not going to develop more of them. You're just not.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry to interrupt you a little bit.
No, you're good.
It's a hot subject with me, and there are things that need changed. And when I grew up, it took 3 to 5 years. And I'm ancient. I was born in '56. 3 to 5 years for a college kid, great college kid, to become a pro quarterback.
That's right. They all sat.
Some of the best.
Yeah.
Just read the history. So how did
Bradshaw.
it change? Yeah.
4 or 5 years.
He got benched.
He started his first year.
He got benched.
He got benched. Yeah.
And look who replaced him.
Look at Aaron
Took four-
Rodgers.
Took
He
4
sat for
years
3.
to bench Bradshaw. Took 4 years to bench Bradshaw.
Well, there you go,
It
Smoking
took
Jim.
a strike. It took a strike to get him to be benched. He said before.
He's the expert here, and he's usually going negative, but right now he's eating pizza, so we're positive about it. No, thanks for your points. We can continue this on air, off air, or whenever. They're great points, and I appreciate you thinking outside the box, because you got 32 billionaires that don't want you to think anywhere. Just my opinion. All right, we're going. What's on your mind, Nick Callis, besides the drama with getting the show on air and what, we're on Facebook now?
We're on Facebook, so we got we're doing it the old-fashioned way, right? We got the phone out and on a tripod. So hi, Facebook people, and then hi, television people. Good to see y'all. Yeah, I'm stressed, and now I got to collect my thoughts. I am going to talk about the Steelers a little bit later because I despise Deontay Johnson. Really, no. I put out a post on X just to see. Why not just unfollow Deontay Johnson? Everybody, let's just unfollow him. Let's get rid of him. Let's
Hold it. What are
say
you
heck with
on?
him.
What are you on, first of all?
So I am on X, Facebook, and Instagram. So
Well, I'm not on the stuff you're talking about except Facebook, so I don't care about Twitter and all you guys on there that believe it's all truthful.
well, 133,000 some people do care about what Deontay Johnson has to say because they follow him, and I'm just
My interruption is, they talked about the dumbing down of America. It's been complete for years, and he's proving all of my points that I've made for 25 years. So carry on.
what's my point though?
Your point is you're always right. You're trying to correct me.
I'm not correcting anybody.
You asked me what your point is. You're trying to be right. So I'm worried about you. We're having some
He's
fun
stressed
here.
enough, man.
I can't handle it. I can't handle
We
it.
have a new friend of ours. Some people are trying to watch us. Yeah, let me get this. Yeah, everybody watching, thanks. Vic Foster, a new friend of mine I met through Roland Lazaro, told him to watch our show. He said it's not on, but we're on Facebook now, Vic. So thank you for watching. We'll try to get a little serious. We never let facts get in the way of our opinions. So I just wanted to put that out for new people and old people that have been here. And I'm a bit feisty tonight because I got told a few different things that we wouldn't be on air than we were and had a talk. So we're carrying on. We're waiting with bated breath to hear what else Nick Callis has to say.
Sir.
Bated breath, very good. But
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like if we just, all unfollow Deontay Johnson, we'll all be happier and we won't have to worry about the excuses he makes or the fact that he won't let us reply to his stuff. My goal is to get blocked by some of these people on socials as well. I mean, Eddie Faulkner already blocked a few of my colleagues at the Fan before he even called the game or worked with the offense in a game on Sunday, so that's interesting. Social media is just bad. I've talked about it before on this show. It's all just nuts. And then I realized
some people are new, so just carry on.
And then I realized why we're not going to all unfollow Deontay Johnson, because we as Pittsburgh fans may be frustrated, but think about how entertaining he is to every other NFL fan base or every other football fan in America. I mean, the dude got exposed. I mean, how do you do that? And I want to save that for what's for the VIP segment, where I give an extended opinion on him and how that's apparently going to be handled. But yeah, I mean, it's all about the attention for a lot of these people, and Deontay Johnson likes attention, and I don't necessarily like that. I mean, he's talking, I guess, trying to defend himself, but he's doing it in really confusing ways, and I think that's intentional. But I just find it humorous, though, that these people block media members just because they think that we're gonna disrupt their lives. I don't know why they're even paying attention to the accounts in the first place, which is why I guess what's on my mind is that social media is a madhouse. It's all crazy, and Twitter, and we'll now call it X, is just the endless rage machine. So that's what's on my mind.
Nick, I got to do a disclaimer on this one. I didn't think I'd have to do it with Nick. I've been kidding around, and I'm a bit sarcastic. He's been promoted to our social media director. So everything he said.
No, not just sports lines. The whole municipality I represent.
That's what I'm getting at. So you lost me about why people should do this or do that on social media.
I got hired because I understand the system. I can't change people's tendencies. I can just
wait,
explain.
hold it. Time out right there. I never, ever wanted to control anybody. So you think and feel whatever you want. You can disagree with me 110% using a sports metaphor. Look up metaphor. So what you're saying, Nick, is social media, and you're saying you don't understand why people want to like certain people.
No,
you of all people know exactly why they do.
No, I just said
and what you try to put out there. I'm just saying that.
I just said people follow Deontay Johnson because they're NFL fans, and he's entertaining. The fact that he didn't run after that football when it got fumbled is entertaining. The fact that he did not touch the defender with his arms to try to block him and just kind of glanced at the play before turning around. That's why people follow him. He is entertaining. We as Pittsburgh fans are frustrated because we need him to win at this point. Receivers are not coming to plenty right now on the Steelers. But for every other NFL fan base, they're laughing at him. They're like, "This is funny," and your defense of yourself is laughable. That's why they're following him. I think not everybody that follows him is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and that's really the fun of it. That's why, because he's entertaining.
Nick, I don't want to follow him, nor would I ever think of it. But we used to call guys, I'm bringing old words up, believe me, I'm 67. We called people like him a hot dog or a prima donna.
Sure. Yeah.
So he's perfect for that.
Indeed.
And all the people that are small-minded like that want to do your social media thing with him for the NFL and Steelers and whatever, that's on them. It's not on us. We're trying to talk about what we see as sports and what's right or wrong. First of all, to interrupt what you're saying before I get into my little thing here, you have a coach. When I was growing up, coaches would tell you what to do and how to play, and when you made a mistake, you got yelled at. When you didn't give 100% effort, you got yelled at and taken out of the game. Mm-hmm. Even if you thought you did your best thing blocking, running, or whatever else, guess what? You got yelled at and pulled out of the game.
Well, I'm going to talk about...
What do you think would happen now? And if you talk about it later, I just had to bring that up because we have something like coaches, we have owners, so they're letting them get away with this. Mm-hmm. So all the people can pump up social media.
I can't respond, but I want to, but I'm going to get
Well,
there.
I wanted to tease you with it, so...
What are you teasing? You're going to be...
Well, no, you're going to be talking some more.
You're teasing it for me.
Yes.
That's bold, Al. That is bold.
You know what? It's great being a host on a show. It took a while to walk him around the block because he's trying to assert me and tease something. So I put the reversal on him without psychological warfare. And I got a tease in for him. Stay tuned.
Maybe I wanted you to reverse me reversing you.
You weren't even
reversing
at
me.
that level.
No.
You missed it on the first step because your jaw dropped. There's a physical aspect. All right, we're going to go to mine, but first, we got a lot of folks we've been delaying. Teresa, I got to give you the compliment. She said, I taught Mike Rohde everything he knows about cooking and sports. You're welcome.
She did.
We salute you. And you have a nice daughter, too. And a grandson and a son, they're all here. And Brandy, who doesn't watch sports, hello from Ralph.
That's my man.
Ralph's there. You always say that, so we're wondering how much he pays you.
Jeez.
Paul Haley says y'all can put a photo of Smokin' Jim in a tux with a sign. Technical difficulties. Coming for our Coliseum Combat Zone, April 27th.
Yes.
Smokin' Jim got a black tie tux with a black top hat rented. He'll be there. Brandy said a few different things with the ceiling and what we heard, and then she said, there we go. It's fixed now.
You saw the ceiling because we were doing the sponsors on
Well,
TV,
I'm doing what they watch live,
Right.
so we covered that. Nick, always thanks for giving us the truth and the points of things.
Indeed.
The facts are important. Paul Haley, good point on Johnson Smokin' Jim. He stood there and looked at the fumble and said, not in my job description. That reminds me of an old-time show called Chico and the Man. Chico always said, not my job. You can look it up on some Google, all right?
Mean Joe Green would have ripped this.
Brandy
thing off
has
on
a
the field.
question for Smokin' Jim. Now, she's not a sports
What's her
lady.
name?
Brandy, it's,
Brandy.
you know Michael?
That's my man.
No, that's her son.
Okay.
That's
You know
That's
Johnny?
Johnny. You pointed
That's,
my man.
that's her husband. She goes, what is Smokin' Jim eating?
A little bit of everything.
Brandy goes, food I can talk about. All right, we got that clarified. Charlene Thomas is watching. We appreciate it. Sarah Webb Newts is watching. Brandy says he talked about you earlier if you heard. I don't know what that was about, Brandy. Robert Kasek's watching. Bob Beers, my longtime friend from the Post-Gazette and Press, is working. How about I go to a local bar and restaurant called Gill's Cafe, and I'm in there, and a gentleman, JR, says about the Post-Gazette, and I interrupt him because, you know, I like to talk, and I go, I only worked 36 years at the Post-Gazette in the mailing room. How about his wife sitting next to me at a table? She goes, do you know Bob Beers and Luann? I said, that's one of my best friends from the Press and Post-Gazette. I know Luann and their family. And they go, we're going to see him tonight. So I said, when you tune in, tell them that I said hello to both of them and their family. So what a small world. Jane Leffler said, she said, Teresa, you did a great job. Sujit Gavitt, they're watching. All right, what's on my mind? I almost forgot. We saw a Steeler game, and I want to just first preface this with, I'm happy with a W. I'm not happy with a loss, but some of the games I watched this year I thought were losses, so it's been tough to watch. And before the game, I knew the average points were 16.5 a game. And I know we fired Canada, and then we hired Faulkner and Sullivan. Instead of firing one coach and getting one replacement, we fired one coach, and we got two replacements. Sullivan's calling plays, and Faulkner's the OC. So what happened to the quarterback coach and the other assistant that they left? So in other words, this was a cost-saving move by the Steelers. And what did we get? Everybody's so excited. I always love to see Monday morning when the Steelers win. There's a whole great attitude in Pittsburgh in general, and they're all happy. And I'm looking at it. I watched the game. I didn't know Kenny Pickett could see the middle of the field. I was stunned. How many passes? First one's 25 yards to Firemouth. he just came back last week, didn't do that well, but they were excited we had a tight end again. Well, we have a big horse, Washington, who's blocking, and he can catch a ball once in a while and drag 8 people with him, but that's another story. So I watch all these passes. End of the game, we win somehow. It's a miracle. And I'm thinking we're averaging 16.5 points a game. And we didn't even do that. So I think, what's O Canada saying? He goes, you didn't change a thing, and you scored less than when I was there. So what are we going to do the rest of the season? We're 7-4. The next 2 games, if we don't win, I'm going to stop watching the Steelers.
Yeah.
Just had to put that out there. So we got to move out to a couple other things. I don't know the time. We got probably less than 20 minutes. So we're going to go with Fiction and Fact and Smoking Jim's Almanac in 10 seconds.
Anybody, before I give you the answer, does anybody know who the defensive player of the year is going to be in the National Football League?
Joey
Boom,
Porter.
Boom, boom, boom. Nope.
Joey
Garrett.
Porter.
Huh?
Myles Garrett?
Nope. Not Myles Garrett or T.J. Watt. And it's, you guys will all agree with me when I say
No,
this.
we disclaim that.
You don't have to do all of this.
No, we disagree already. The disclaimer is he represents himself. He can't lie his way out of this one.
Give me a
The
team.
defensive
Give us
player,
a team.
the defensive player of the year in the National Football League is also going to be the defensive rookie of the year. 5 touchdowns on interceptions.
Oh, yeah.
Record, and did it on Thanksgiving Day. So
Yeah.
it's all locked up. Rookie of the year and defensive player of the year. Black cornerback.
You can't mention his name?
Huh? Black cornerback. I think it's Bland for Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, it is incredible.
Anyhow,
I even saw a special on him, to interrupt you. They showed his high school senior year. He ran back 2 pick sixes, and he didn't do it in college.
wow, he went from Sacramento State across the street to Fresno. But anyhow, Al Levine, the talking machine, a friend of mine, is up for the Boxing Hall of Fame. They passed him by quite a few times, but he got a good chance here. Michael Moore, you guys know him, former heavyweight champion of the world. I've known Michael since he was 12 years old.
I got a question for our fans.
Yes, sir.
Who knocked him out?
I'll get to that.
And he became the oldest boxing champion in history.
You're on page 2. I'm still on the first paragraph.
Well, I'm used to playing checkers, and he plays tiddlywinks pretty good.
That's it.
He's Chinese checkers. He beat me once.
He's from Menneson.
He's from Menneson,
Yes.
but he boxed at his grandfather's gym in Charleroi. You know, when he was 16 years old, I thought he was as good as any fighter in the world. I thought he was going to go to the Olympics, but he decided to turn pro. He moved to Detroit.
He won
and
money.
boxed out of the Kronk gym for Emmanuel Stewart. Quickly became
We
the
all
second
know about
best,
Kronk.
Quickly became the second best boxer in the history of the Kronk gym behind Thomas the Hitman Hearns. He beat Evander Holyfield to win the heavyweight championship of the world. But in my opinion, and we're friends, but I would rate him borderline Hall of Famer because he did get knocked out by a 46-year-old George Foreman that looked like he hit him with a Foreman grill upside his head. And David Tua knocked him out in 30 seconds. But I would give him my vote for the Hall of Fame because of what he did as a light heavyweight. He went
Whoa.
24-0 with 24 knockouts. He was a world light heavyweight champion, and he reminded me of Joe Louis at 175 pounds. So, Al Levine, the talking machine, because of light heavyweight, I would give him my vote for the Hall of Fame. Good luck, Michael Moore. And that's what's fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. Know him since he was 12, since he was 2 years younger than Mikey.
Smoking Jim, we didn't cover anything else you said or before, but he got your vote for Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
All right. Another local guy, Smoking Jim's 4, and then sometimes against.
Although we was at the same
Here we go.
We was at the same bar in Charleroi when he got into a fight.
Who won?
I told the guy Michael had enough. Woo! I saved him that day.
Did it,
I bet you wouldn't. I bet you never went in that bar again, bumping into folks.
to, all
Maybe he
of,
had too much to drink.
to all of our friends and fans, he's a pretty Smoking Jim's one of the
Leave
nicest.
him alone. He's gonna be champ one day.
He's one of the nicest guys in the world. But why does he always go negative?
I'm giving you true stories here.
It is fact. He's giving you
Yeah,
fact.
but why are they always negative after that
Mike,
fact?
you want me to call the ambulance? Are you gonna be okay? You ain't getting in my car with all that blood.
All right, some of our fans say, Paul Haley, nice to see Tyler Boyd from Clareton High School in the game Sunday.
The weak link.
Boswell, Paul Haley, Boswell scored 10 points of our 16 on Sunday. Ann Harder guest TJ. Rachel Merja, Frank Merja's mother's watching the show, so we salute you. Frank Mann is watching. Thank you for watching us. All right, where do we go next? All right, that's VIP time.
Hey.
Let's go to Nick Callis. 10 seconds, folks.
All right, so as promised, I'm going to talk about Deontay Johnson. First of all, the Steelers getting 421 yards of offense is sign of an improvement, I'll say. The Steelers indeed did not meet the average of Matt Canada's tenure by a half a point. So that's kind of funny. But, throwing the ball down the middle of the field is good.
That was the humor to it. I'm glad you got it belatedly.
Yeah, that's good. That's funny. That is funny. I saw that in memes, too. I also saw a meme earlier on socials, and it said it was a picture of Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, and it said what Pat Fryermuth and Kenny Pickett looked like without Matt Canada, and I thought that was funny. A lot of funny stuff going on now that Matt Canada's not around. But the serious matter of the case is that Deontay Johnson is kind of not a great guy. I didn't like him before. I think he's overpaid for his services because he can't catch any passes. And now, that's something that you should never question in a professional athlete, the effort that they give. And that was just blatantly one of those times where it was just so bad. Jalen Warren doesn't fumble the football. We don't pay attention to that at all. But the fact that he did made Deontay Johnson get exposed.
Well, being right after his dropped catch. That made a big difference
I don't know.
there.
I don't know if it was if he was in his own head. I don't get it anymore with that kind of stuff with the receivers. George Pickens was kind of pouty, and the Steelers public relations team put it together, and they were like, "Yep, we're gonna get past this," and they did. George Pickens is still catching the ball well. He's still a talented receiver. Deontay Johnson, unfortunately, does not have the benefit of routine talent on his side, and that's why I think we all tend to dislike him more, because he actually doesn't catch a lot of. Now, the pass in the end zone, was it a routine catch? I don't know. It's difficult to secure the football like that, and the defender made a good play to get it out of him. And if Mike Tomlin challenges, perhaps it's a turnover, but
One question.
or not, it's overturned. What's up?
3 feet down constitutes a play. Is your coach watching any of the catches or plays? Because how can you miss that? And then where's the
You're on the
assistant?
sideline. I get it.
Where's the assistant coach upstairs who's supposed to be helping him?
Good point.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that
No,
necessarily.
these are
I
all-
think Tomlin himself can't really see the play from where he is necessarily.
Looking at the jumbotron.
Yeah, well,
Look, he got in
While the
trouble.
play's going on.
He got in trouble blocking a runner looking at the jumbotron.
Yeah.
So his habit is already there. You just got to watch a little closer yourself.
now
You missed that.
With Mike Tomlin, though, and Mike Tomlin talked about it today, too. And I tend to not like some of the things Mike Tomlin says in other cases. Then he comes out today and he says, I'm not going to answer for Deontay. I'm going to give him a chance to address his teammates and address you guys, meaning the media, when he was talking during his press conference. And I think I'm interested to see what Deontay Johnson's going to say. I think it'll be interesting if he speaks in public, because you don't really hear him talk in public, but also, to be held accountable in that regard is good. Mike Tomlin not speaking on his behalf, because it's not Mike Tomlin's responsibility necessarily to answer for that. Deontay Johnson's an adult and, should automatically, as a professional athlete, be giving more of an effort on certain plays. So I like Mike Tomlin's answer in that case. I get frustrated when he plays arrogant and says that he just fed us sound bites because that's fun and that's what, good. But I mean, in other cases, though, he comes out and he addresses situations well. Now, winning cures all, and they're still winning. That is irrefutable. And the Browns blowing it against the Broncos kind of helps that situation because now they're back to even, and the Steelers have more of a grip on control for the rest of their season. But just to hear an answer like that, it was inspiring in a way to hear that there may be some discipline involved, that Deontay Johnson's going to have to answer for that stuff, and perhaps we can move on. Now, whether or not Deontay Johnson changes is to be seen. I'll say it over and over and over again. I don't think he's worth the contract that he has. I think that he doesn't make routine plays, and I think that he pouts a lot. And, for me, that was crossing a line in that particular play that you really can't come back from. It's just very frustrating to see an effort given like that, and it's frustrating to just understand that he is so soft, I'll call it. He is so sensitive to that stuff that he let a drop pass that maybe shouldn't have been a drop pass turn into a poor effort blocking, which could have maybe turned into a fumble recovery that didn't. And then he goes on X and he starts saying a bunch of stuff trying to defend himself, or just using really confusing language to stir up those that care about what he has to say. It's not great. George Pickens was a little bit different, but at least George Pickens makes routine and extraordinary plays. And you got a guy who's complaining and pouting like this who doesn't make routine plays. It's just that much more infuriating. So I'm not a Deontay Johnson guy. I never have been, and it seems I never will be. That's the opinion.
Can you imagine if Jack Lambert was on the same team with somebody that did that?
He'd have got knocked out.
It wouldn't have took 2 days for him to finally get to an answer.
Well, I'm glad you gained some respect for Tomlin. I have less respect now with how he treated the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you say that?
I would have gone up to the player, take your helmet off, you're done for
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
sit at the end of the bench, and we'll talk after the game. And whenever you announce anything, I better hear an apology first. That's what I grew up with. Coaches would tell you that.
It seems that
You have to you're accountable for every action you make. He isn't.
The problem is that the fans in general care more about winning, I think, than that. And now, if the Steelers would have lost, you got a whole different story here. The matter of fact is that Tomlin knows this, I believe, and everybody knows this. The Steelers don't have the wide receiver depth. And while Deontay Johnson isn't good at routine plays, he still makes certain plays, and he's a threat enough to the defense that he can help them beat teams. That's why he wasn't set.
Smoking Jim brought up something earlier. It's called the Big C. You have cancer in there. Tomlin's feeding the cancer to make it worse.
I don't see, but how much of a cancer is a cancer if they're winning games? That's the whole problem. If they're not winning games and the attitude's like this, everybody's people are getting cut. More coaches may be getting fired.
How about in 3 weeks when they lose a game? What are you going to say then?
I'll say that they're 10
'Cause
and
we'll
10
be-
and 4. They're
Yeah,
10 and 5.
no, but then that means none of what we're talking about means anything. So that's why I'm still against Tomlin. I feel worse about him now, even if he wasn't as arrogant as you think he was. He could have handled this and we wouldn't talk about it again, because Deontay would know where he stands. Yeah. With your philosophy and what people want to see and do.
People want to see the wins.
Well, then,
and unfortunately,
then let him act like an immature diva, prima donna, hot dog, whatever you want to call him.
They could have a better wide receiver core and win more games in the future is kind of my point. Right now, though, they seem to need him to win.
Well, as long as we're 9-8, we're good. So we'll be probably 11-6. So we'll be all so happy. Nick, they can do whatever they want on the field because we're winners. All right, let's go to Ragin' Roadie time.
So we got to go quick. So I got a couple of
No,
points.
take your time.
I got a couple of points.
I'm in charge here.
All right. Al, you said 16 points, but I say I challenge you to the eye test, right? They threw the ball down the field. They didn't throw behind the sticks when it was 3rd and 11. They converted 3 long ones. That'll come in time.
No argument there.
That'll come in time.
I saw it.
And we talked
I
about
saw
this
it.
before the show. That wasn't just a coordinator change. That was a philosophy change.
I co-sign
Right?
that.
Total philosophy change. And it kind of makes me wonder where that came from. I know you don't agree. I think that came from Rooney. I know you guys talked about that last week, who made this decision. I think that came from up above. It said we're changing everything. They didn't install a new offense in
They
3
couldn't.
days. It's impossible, right? They called different. They called the same plays, and they said, tell this kid to stop worrying about throwing interceptions. Tell him to get down the field. He's the #1 draft pick. Enough of this crap. And I think that's what happened. That was the change of philosophy that came from on high. And I know Tomlin said, that was my decision, my decision. I don't have a problem with them lying about that. I've been in a situation where my boss has told me to tell other people down below me something I didn't agree with.
Yeah.
I didn't say to everybody, hey, I don't agree with that, those idiots, but I'm doing it anyway, okay? That's maybe a little white
Yeah,
lie,
but
but that's effective management.
Let me
that's
protect
credible
you here.
management.
You're getting paid by them to do your job. So is Tomlin, but he can't get fired. You could be fired if you did that. Think about
Hey,
that
listen.
would jeopardize your job. Just to throw
This
a
is
little.
the first in-season change since 51, something like that?
41.
41? I think all bets
I
are
know
off
numbers.
as far, I personally think Rooney sat down with Mr. Tomlin and said, here's what's going to happen. You're on the hot seat, big time. And I think that's why it was such a radical change. But that's just me. I could be wrong. So, and listen, as far as Deontay Johnson, trust me, every team has these guys.
They're all
Every
prima
team.
donnas,
You can't.
yeah.
This is the NFL. It's the pros. You don't bench guys. You coach them. You figure out a way to do it. Because at the end of the day, you're right, Nick. It's about winning, right? You start benching all these guys, all of
Go
a sudden you're going to have to
Steelers.
get the popcorn vendor to come in and play receiver. Every team has them, so they just have to deal with them. Hines Ward, Hall of Fame. He's a finalist. He deserves it. Talk about eye test. He may not have the most eye-popping numbers, but nobody played harder. Talk about a guy who didn't play hard, Deontay Johnson. Can you see Hines Ward ever doing that? No friggin' way. That guy gave 150,000% on every play, whether it was running, passing, whatever he did. That guy is a model Hall of Famer. And Penguins, here's an idea how to fix the power play. Shoot the puck.
Thank you very much. We'll
Oh,
go-
and one more thing. 2 minutes to go before the hour. It was a mess. Awesome job by you. Pressure makes diamonds. Good job, Nick.
Thank you.
That's why I don't
Very
worry.
good.
You see how calm I was? I disagree on the Rooney thing. We may not go to On Location. We're going to run it out because Rooney has been more of a guy that saw what his great dad did, and he's a lawyer, so he has the business sense because of the Rooney's 3rd generation. In normal times, 3rd generation's a failure of business. He didn't want to be like the rest across the country. So he had to change a couple things, but Tomlin set you up and everybody else. He hired a scapegoat for $500,000 who had a terrible resume. You can give me all the stuff. I'm talking about a half-point difference. What's it matter except we won all those games with Canada? We just won with the duo now. So I'm all in on the Steelers. They're going to go to the playoffs and lose in the first round. I guarantee it. So I want to see somebody prove me wrong. And all this other stuff, we're still going to have players to deal with. We're going to have arrogance of Tomlin. And Mr. Rooney's, guess what, still a billionaire.
And what's the one thing that cancer does is spread. So if you have that cancer, if you don't cut it out, other players will start doing it. Chase Claypool was a good receiver as a rookie, 11 touchdown passes. 5 years later, he only got 13, only made 2 touchdowns in the last 4 years.
Sometimes all you can do with cancer is medicate it,
close.
put
One thing I
radiation
know,
on it.
Belichick
Can't cut it out
and Brady
sometimes.
didn't have that problem when they was winning championships.
Look at Belichick's bringing up the cheater.
We're out of time.
What's he done?
We're out of time.
What's he done
We're
with
out of
Brady gone? And a shout out to Kathy Frost, the graduate with Smoking Jim Frazier from Gateway.
Yes, my
Please
girl.
stay Joey strong.